Good evening and welcome to Between the Lanes, episode number 132. I'm Ron.
I'm Shane.
And got a lot to talk about tonight. Again, welcome to Between the Lanes, episode number 132. You can find us on YouTube. We have 132 episodes up, some how-to videos, and some special episodes over there. Slot Racer is the channel on YouTube. Find us on Facebook. Between the Lanes is the page. Race results. We got race results. Yeah, they're all from last weekend. I don't think I missed anything the week before. So we're going to start international tonight, Shane. International. So the BOC 124th races were at R81 Raceway in Burtley, England. And they raced 124th Euro, Production 24th, and Open 12 cars. And I don't have podium pictures, but the big winner was Martin Ellis there, pictured on the left, with race host Andy Brown-Searle. Martin Ellis was first in 124th Eurosport, followed by Pat Skeen and George Kimber. In Production 24th, Martin Ellis was the winner again. George Kimber was second, and Richie Kettleson was third. And in Open 12, Richie Kettleson was the winner. Martin Ellis second, and Josh Bryant was third. So Martin was the man of the hour last weekend over there. And the Czech Masters race took place in Czechoslovakia. The Eurosport 24th race was won by Mr. Recek. Luca Sobrano was second. Horky was third. And then in the Open 12 class, which I don't have a photo of, Anton, well, I thought I had a photo. Let me see if it's the next one. No. Let's go back here. Okay, so that's the 24th Eurosport. That picture there is 24th Eurosport. Mr. Recek, Mr. Sobrano, and Mr. Horky. And somehow I skipped a photo. Okay, and this is the Open 12, I guess probably top six guys, but the top three was Anton, Horky, and Jan Gotthartz. And then Production 24th, which I just have the race sheet. Mr. Recek was the winner again. Piero Castriconi was second, and Paolo Trujillo was third. Gator Retro Racing Region was in action at Greg Walker's Race Place down in Florida. And I don't have podium pictures, but I have two pictures of the track because the track is a four-lane track that Greg built. It's a unique track that, as you see in this picture, it's a road course. And on the road course, they ran Can-Am and Coupe. In Can-Am, Danny Zona was your winner, Jay Gard second, Terry Tawney was third. Same podium in the Coupe race, Danny Zona first, Jay Gard second, Terry Tawney third. And then they turned the track into an oval track. And that's what this picture is. So you can see the sections missing. You have to look at both pictures to kind of figure it out. But they add some straights and take out some curves to turn it into the oval, or vice versa to turn it back into the road course. So in the stock car race, Danny Zona was the winner. Jay Gard was second again. Terry Tawney was third. So it was the same three guys, same three positions, three podiums. Congrats to all. Southern California Retro Racing Association was at Buena Park Raceway. F1, Sam Rackham was your winner. Brian Warmack second, Jerry Johnson third. Can-Am, it was Duran. Alan Reeder was second, and Sam Rackham was third. Flexi Fest West was out at Fast Tracks Hobbies, Rockland, California, home of the 2020 USRA Scale Nats. And there's kind of a little group shot of some of the racers that was there. And then in LMP, it was Justin Colvin winning, Paul Goronsky second, Brian Boots Nudie was third. And GTP, it was Justin Colvin winning again. Tyler Colvin was second. Jeffrey Cohn third. And the Master Champ, of course, was Justin Colvin with his two wins. Here he's pictured with Ernie and the owner of Fast Tracks Hobbies, which I can't think of his name right off the top of my head.
Is it I want to say it starts with a D.
You could be right, but I can't remember. Anyway, sorry I forgot your name. Dwight. See there?
Yeah, I knew it started with a D. I was going to say Dustin.
It came to me, Dwight. So congratulations to Justin Colvin on his second Flexi Flats Top Champion Award, or overall Master Champion, I think is what it's called. Midwest Spec Series was at Route 66 Raceway last weekend, Elkhart, Illinois. In the Bombers, it was PJ Baltz winning, Jason Plummer second, Randy Lynn third. In Dirt Late Models, Randy Lynn was the winner, Dave Fugate second, PJ was third. In the Legends class, Jason Plummer was your winner, Randy Lynn second, PJ third. Spec Indy, Randy Lynn was your winner, Dave Fugate second, and PJ was third. And I think that's it for the Midwest Spec Series. Hard Bodies at Thaser. Hobby Stock, Dave Garino was your winner. Dick Soul was second, Mike Wanino was third. In Super Stock, it was Dave Soul winning, Dave Garino second, Dave Goss was third. And then Pony Stock, it was Dick Soul winning again, with Dave Garino second again, and Rick Stagan in third place. Mark's Model World was the site of the OCC race last weekend, which both Shane and I was in attendance. I don't have a picture of the podium. I think they took the picture after these guys left. But in the GT1B class, Gary Vineyard was your winner. DJ Joseph, the local hot shoe kid, was second. And Greg Miller was third. And this picture is two of the three guys from the GT1A podium. Eric Shirey was the winner. Willie Custer, missing, was second. And Ron Hirschman, myself, was third. In Group 10, it was Ron Hirschman winning, Eric Shirey second, Terry Watson third. And then in GTP, it was Jeremy Wyatt winning. Terry Watson was second. He won the B main, finished second overall. And then Shane was third overall. And Jeremy and Shane were both in the A main. Jeremy and Shane had a hell of a race for 4 or 5 heats. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But yeah, it was a kind of a unique A main for GTP. The no pitchers category, the New England Retro Racing Association was at Monteville Hobby last weekend. They ran stock cars on the American Black Royal track. That would have been a blast. Gary Clinton Jr. Was your winner. John Weaver was second. Keith Libby was third. Gotta go back. Can-Am was ran on the King. I take that back. Can-Am was ran on the Aristocrat hill climb, American hill climb. That track is like the finest American hill climb in the country. Blast to run on. I've done it twice. Hope to do it again sometime soon. John Weaver was your winner. Gary Jr. was second, and Dave Panich was third. And that's your winner chicken dinner. And
Sunday.
all right, so this weekend is the 28th and 29th of February. So we have the Leap Day Enduro race down at Concord, Slot Car Track Concord. F2000 wing cars at Chicagoland Raceway, East Coast Flexi Series at Fast Tracks Valley. Penn, Ohio is at Mark's Model World this weekend, and they have the Barn Burner wing car race at Port Jeff, world famous Port Jeff Raceway, Long Island. Your first weekend in March, we got a lot of races. Race Place, Retro East is at the Race Place, New Jersey. AWRA is at Turn and Burn. Hard Bodies are at Pro Slot. The Western States Championship for wing cars is at Buena Park Raceway. You got the BRS Series at Boogie Speedway in Jackson, Michigan. And you got the Central Illinois Slot Series at Mid-America Bloomington. That's their championship race. And the Midwest Flat Track Series, I believe, is at Naperville. Because I think last time they were at Chicagoland. Maybe I got them backwards. I don't know. The weekend of the 14th, we've got Mid-South at Turn and Burn, the Midwest Spec Series. Mid-America Hard Bodies is, well, I don't know if that's on or not. Because I think the Mid-America Hard Body Series is officially over. New England Retro Racing Association's at Monoville Hobby again. The weekend of the 21st, Retro East is at Speed Zone. USCA is at Chicagoland. AWRA is at Staunton. Got Hard Bodies at Thaser. And you got the Flexi Canadian Nats up in London, Ontario. And the last weekend of March, we've got East Coast Flexi Series at Smitty J's. And OCC will be at Fast Tracks. And we got New England Retro Racing at Bristol 1010 Speedway. So that's what's going on in March. And if anything else, we got the Ohio Oval Series on the weekend of, that'll be the 8th of March. And then the 15th of March is the $100 Group F race at Mark's Model World. And the Saturday before that, they're having an angle winder, all angle winder race where they're running, I think, GTP and retro angle winders. And maybe another class. I'll have to get more info for next week. So that's what's going on in March. So,
Sounds busy.
Yep. So this week we're going to give away the final blue motor case organizer from Elmo, Guy Valance. You can buy these. Look up Guy Valance, VALLANCE, on Facebook, and he can hook you up. And again, this one's blue this week. This is the final last one we're going to give away. That's all,
final
folks.
Countdown.
Yeah, final countdown. And trying to get my screen to go back. Oh, here's how we do that. So there. And there's the last motor case. So we want to give away the motor case now and get that done and over with?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. And the lucky winner is shuffle, 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 shuffle. Gotta get one. Just one, just one, just one. All right, got just one. Keith Bernstein. Keith Bernstein, you are the winner of this motor case. So Keith Bernstein, message me, Ron Hirschman, on Facebook, and we'll get that in the mail to you. So before I go any further, I need to put this back in the little case cover and write his name on it so I know whose it is. Bernstein. Or maybe it's Bernstein. So there you go. Congratulations, Keith. Big winner. All right, so getting my notes out here. Okay, so Flexi Palooza signups are open. We don't know where the race is going to be yet, but the signups are opening. If they're not open tonight, I think they're going to be open the next day or so. It was also announced that the Flexi Flats will be held November 7th, Washington, Pennsylvania, at the Washington Slot Car Club on the UK Black. And that's November 7th of 2020. That's a long ways away, so we wanted to just let you know that that's where the race is going to be.
Plenty of prep time.
Plenty of prep time. And that's all I have for notes. So what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about touching cars, or you want to talk about the OCC race?
Let's go with touching cars, because I think that'll be longer, and then we'll close on the OCC race.
Okay. So last night on Slot Car Race Talk on Facebook, question was asked, what do you do, or what would you say if someone touched your cars?
I think it's kind of both. What would you do and what would you say?
Yeah, if someone just kind of like went up to your pit area to race and started fondling your cars, I guess without permission. And I guess I was the first to respond, and I said, well, it depends on who it is. You know, I mean,
right.
So, I mean, if the guy's bigger than me, I might want to keep my mouth shut and not get my ass whooped on or something. But, and I was just doing that kind of in joking and jest. But, yeah, I mean, I don't really see it as a big problem.
Right.
Never really seen it as a problem. I mean, I've seen a lot of things in my time, but we won't go into that in this discussion. But good and bad.
Right.
I guess if I go to somebody's box and I want to look at something and they're there or close by or in the building, I will ask them.
Right.
I'm not going to say I'm innocent. There's probably been times that I really don't remember that maybe I went over and picked a car up and took a quick glance. They weren't around, or I didn't feel it was important to ask them. I just wanted to look at something. I don't know.
Right.
But I mean, in general, if I want to look at someone's car, I will ask them if I can look at their car. I don't think anyone has ever told me, no, you can't look at my car.
Right.
And I guess if someone was to tell me, no, you can't look at my car, I would either think of two things. They've discovered something that they don't want me to see, or maybe their car's illegal and they don't want you to see it. So, other than that, I mean, like, I just think it's good etiquette to ask people. I mean, it's like if you, wanted to borrow somebody Allen wrench or something, like you were on the other side of the room and let's say you're practicing and you're up on Red Lane and your box is clear across the room and you need an Allen wrench.
Right.
And
I'm notorious for that.
Like I might say, well, there's Shane's box. I'll go over and grab an Allen wrench because, it's probably laying there and I'll use it.
Right.
I mean, I should probably ask you, like, hey, can I use this real quick? But I think a lot of us sometimes borrow tools and things without asking.
Right.
I think we all walk by other people's pits and kind of look at things, see if we can see anything.
I mean, for instance, this weekend, where we were pitted and Eric was kind of over in the corner, his box was closer. That's why I was kind of laughing when you said tools, because I was like, I need a pair of scissors to cut this body. And I walked to Eric's box because it was close.
Right.
He wasn't at his pit thing. I think Jeremy was sitting there and he just kind of looked at me and I was like, I just need scissors. And he's like, oh, all right,
Right. So, I mean, I have seen people, even with permission, touch other people's stuff and accidentally drop it, or I don't want to say mess something up, but you know what I mean, like cause an issue maybe. So I think it was kind of funny, and I don't know how many drag racers chimed in on those, I guess probably 100 some responses.
Yeah, I didn't even look.
Because like the drag racers, it was kind of funny because a while back they talked about guys making a run, and then maybe they get walking down to get their car, they get sidetracked, they don't go down to get their car, and someone makes another pass and runs into the parked car.
Right.
And I said, well, the simple solution would be is like the two guys that run, they go down there and they get their cars off the track and they wait till the next pass. The cars stop, they pick the cars up, set them on the side, and you just do that. So then no parked cars would ever get hit. Oh my God, the responses were like, I don't want no one else touching my car, and what if somebody drops your car? And I'm thinking, well, everybody would be careful with everybody else's stuff, I would think. I mean, it's a mutual respect thing, but it's like no one should touch my car. I wouldn't want anybody touching my car. And then all these people last night were kind of like, it was kind of a different deal. Like, who cares? And I mean, some people were like, who cares? And that's like, I mean, some people probably don't care if like you come over and grab somebody's car. I mean, I can't say I really have it's like last weekend, you're sitting over by my box and I was sitting at the race director standing. Was I marshaling?
I think you were just standing at the high bank, just kind of looking.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
you may have been marshaling.
I think I was watching Terry, and because he was in the B main, and then you were sitting over by my box, and then I didn't bother me. You were sitting at my box, and then you asked me, "Hey, do you mind if I look at your cars?" No problem. There's no secrets there. You can look at
Yeah,
anything you want.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know how long you looked at stuff, and I don't know if you looked at everything, but I mean,
I just looked at your car. I mean, it's like I told you before. I think I even said it in that post. I see my stuff every day.
right,
You know what I mean?
right,
I look at I'm constantly looking at my stuff.
right,
So it gets boring. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
And then, like, if I'm at a race where you're at, I think I've even did it at Terry's box where I'm at, hey, can I look at your stuff?
Right.
And generally, like, I look at me like you got the same stuff. It's just like, it's just different.
You're just nibby. You just want to just look.
Yeah. Because it's like maybe I could pick up on something y'all are doing that I'm not doing, or maybe see something that I didn't think of,
So I guess the key thing was you looked at my stuff. You pawed my stuff. You looked at my stuff.
Right.
Did you learn anything?
Yeah.
Yep. See?
Yeah.
I switched it up on O'Shane and didn't tell him. I didn't send him a memo.
Yeah.
But we talked about pre-show, so I just been
I
running.
would say the only pet peeve as far as people looking or touching my cars, you may agree, listeners may agree or disagree or whatnot, is if I'm in the pits, if I'm on the track, wherever, look at it, ask questions, whatever. I don't care. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've even been known to pop the body off and be like, here, look at it.
Sure.
Kind of like you have nothing to hide.
Right.
Whenever I take my car to tech, and my car is teched by a tech official and put in the tech box,
right.
Unless you're an official, don't touch my car.
Well, I was going to say that was one of my pet peeves is when I tech. If I'm teching the cars,
right?
It's my belief is when you bring your car up, or if you leave your car there and I tech it, once I pass it and it goes in the box,
yeah,
no one touches those cars until either the guy who, like in my case, I would tech and then I would take the cars over and I would put them on the track for the qualifying runs.
Right.
And that just ensured that no one touches the cars while they're impounded. And it was one of my pet peeves if guys would take a car out of the box, like they come over and you're got your back turned, you're putting a car down, you go to look for the car, and it's like, where's the car at?
Right.
And it's like, well, I've got my car. Well, you're not supposed to have your car. Like your car is supposed to stay in the box until I get it out and set it on the track. So that as a tech director, that's kind of a pet peeve thing. But
as a racer, for me, it is. You know what I mean? Like you said.
Right.
I know some places they just say, "Oh, leave your car on the counter." The tech guy kind of keeps an eye on it. But I've seen guys standing around a tech table, grab the car. It's just like, why are you've had 2 days, 3 days, a couple hours.
Right.
My car's in tech. I don't want anyone touching it.
Right. Right.
If you ask me, I'll tell you. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But once it's in tech, it's kind of like if you ain't got it figured out, it's a little late now.
Yep. So.
And then, like you said, once it's in tech, unless you're an official, you shouldn't have it. You shouldn't be looking at it. You shouldn't be playing with it.
Right. And
other than that, I don't.
And I guess some helpful tips. If you're at the track and you're going to leave before everyone else is going to leave, and you don't want no one to mess with your cars or look at your cars or touch your cars, you should probably, if your box locks up, close your box, lock it up, or take your box with you. Then no one can mess with your stuff.
There's no questions asked.
No questions asked, because I have seen where people have left and other people went through, went over their box and opened it up and started looking and nibbing around.
Right.
And I think that's actually worse than, like, let's say you're in the building and I go over to your box and I start looking at your cars.
Right.
Okay. But now if you leave and you leave your cars there and I go over and look at your cars, I think that's kind of being a little bit sneaky. Like,
yeah.
Or if your box is closed and I open your box and start looking, I think that's a little different. But it all can be preventable. Just take it with you.
Yes.
If you don't want people nibbing or touching. Or
I used to tell guys all the time whenever I race with them, and I still tell them, don't waste your money protesting me. If
Right.
you want to see something, just come up and ask me. I'll gladly show you what I'm doing, you know?
Right. Well, it's like I told you, go ahead and look all you want. There's no secrets over there. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think what did I turn around and say? I was just looking, you know,
yep,
it's just different stuff,
yep,
you know?
yep.
I just get tired of looking at the same crap all the time. So it's like, all right, I see you once to 3 times a year. So it's like, let's see if he's seeing anything different, you know?
And he discovered I was doing something different.
Well, it's just like the first year Marks at the Speed Steel Fest.
Right.
You know, I was looking at your car. I take it out. Yeah, you know.
Was that the first?
I
Was that the first time we ever raced together?
No, the first time we raced together was in Peachtree at the Speed Zone.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yep. Arco Classic or whatever it was called.
Yep, Cozy and Arco. Yeah, Cozy and Arco race. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, that was the first time we met and raced together. We obviously talked prior to that on the phone.
Sure.
That was the first time we actually met.
So Speedfest was probably the second time.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the Speed Zone race was in January of 2016, and the Buckeye Speed Steel Fest was in March of 2016.
This guy's got the dates.
I'm looking at the plaques.
Oh, I was going to say I'd have to turn around and look at the plaques somewhere here.
Yeah, I got it right here. That's why I was like, yeah, January 8th and 9th of 2016 was our official meet.
Official meeting.
And then the Buckeye Speed Steel Fest was March 11th through 13th of 2016.
Shane actually drove one of my cars the first time we met at that race.
Yep. Drove your F1.
Yep.
And then I drove Joe Dirt's Can-Am car.
That's right.
I think I won with both of them. Well, F1 I was winning, but
yeah,
it's like a piece of tape got wrapped around the axle.
Yeah.
We thought something was slipping.
Yep. You got second, I think, and then you won the C or B main with Joe's car. Yeah. Yep.
The rest is history.
That's the first time you ran retro cars, too.
Yes.
Yep. I remember it like it was 20 years ago.
Yeah. Funny.
Okay, so yeah, we kind of went from the touching cars and
a little bit of history.
Well, yeah, and then it kind of ties in with the OCC race because you was nibbing through my stuff there, but with permission,
Right.
of course. With permission, of course.
Right.
So we went, we saw, we conquered. I don't know, not everybody conquered, but we all had a good time at Marks for sure. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
a lot of good drivers there. Some were not there.
We set a record, all-time high attendance for OCC.
There were a lot of records were set this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. The biggest OCC race ever. See, I thought it was 102 many
Right.
years ago in the OCC, but it was actually 102 in the Ohio Valley Challenge Cup Series back in the 90s.
Gotcha.
And the biggest Ohio, because there was Ohio Challenge Cup in the north and Ohio Valley down in the south. And I was going through the old Ohio, the OCC sheets. I couldn't find it. And then the biggest one I found was like a Winter Circle, and they had 96 entries. And the second largest was 91, and the third was 89 in the 2 or 3 years of that series. So this weekend they had 100. Well, I think they had 103 or something, or 104.
I think the official count was 103, I believe, is what was posted.
Yeah. So that was a new attendance record for a race. We set new records in Group 10 and GTP. I don't think we broke any records in GT1. I think you were close.
No, I think the only record in GT1 was me. I set fastest lap on the orange lane.
Oh, did you? Okay, because you went 365. You went 364 something. I went 365 something.
Yeah, you went 3. Yep.
And but in Group 10, I mean, all the records got broke.
Right.
And GTP qualifying record and all the fast lap fastest race lap records got broke, except for one lane.
For red. Yep.
Yes. And GT1A, there was 3 races. Willie won the first race. I won the second race. Eric won the third race. The first 2 races weren't so clean. They weren't horrible, but in the last race, those guys were making laps. And it looked like it was going to be Greg Mayer, and then Eric got in the picture, and then going to last heat, they were on the same lap, and Eric had to run down Greg, and Greg was on red, and Eric was on yellow, I think. No, Eric was on blue. And Eric ran down and passed him, and then Greg got tangled up with a wayward car in the finger, and his car was considerably slower after that hit. And that allowed me to finish 3rd overall, actually, because if he hadn't had that, I would have finished 4th overall.
Gotcha.
And then, but the GTPA main was the race of the day with you and Jeremy.
Me and Jeremy,
yeah. I mean, it was such a weird race because I don't think anyone expected me and Eric to probably be out after the first heat.
Right. Because I think, what was it? You went.
I went.
Then Paul was in the lead for a little while, and then I think he blew up.
Paul Pelletier was in the lead. Yep.
And then I think it was Eric. And then I think Eric had trouble.
Eric. Eric was out in the first heat.
Was he?
So, yeah, because I went off the track, and then he went off the track right behind me.
Gotcha.
Or maybe he started the second heat and was out like boom, because I want
to say he came back in because I want to say he was on the black lane, because I remember I was coming around the purple lane, and I seen his body like flap up, and I started slowing down, and Ralph was next to me.
Okay.
And I didn't think to tell him, hey, slow down, I'm stopped in the donut. By the time it kind of dawned on me, hey, I need to say something, it was too late.
Right, because see, I went out in the first heat, and then I came back on red, and I ran 3 or 4 laps, and as I was unplugging, that's when Eric had his trouble.
Right.
So yeah, I guess he did start the second heat and got in trouble immediately, and then so then I got going again, and I just decided I was going to try and set fast lap records on every lane, which I did after that point, and that was my fun. But and that was kind of fun to do that. I mean, like, turn a negative into a positive, I guess. So.
Oh yeah, that's what I kept preaching, because I mean, I think by the second or third heat of the GT1 race, I was out, and I was like, well,
right.
I think at the end of the race, I went over there and looked, and I was like, you didn't beat my time, did you? And you were like, nope. Came close. And I was like, all right, well, that's a positive. I got a record,
And see, the thing was, I didn't even know, like, I knew you'd run that fast, and I guess I just, in GT1, I wasn't worried about it. I was just out there trying to make laps, and, and I got close on orange, not pushing. I wasn't really pushing the car trying to go for it, but then later in GTP, it was just like, I'm going to go out here and I'll run 3 or 4 laps, and if I can't set the new fast lap, I'll just pull out and get out of the way, and I'll put the next lane sticker on the car and try and do it on that lane. And because I didn't want to interfere with anybody's race by either coming off trying to go fast and didn't want to make anybody, like, okay, Shane, I'm coming up, let me go, and you have to slow down, which lets Jeremy catch you or get free. I wasn't going to get involved in that, so. But yeah, I mean, you and Jeremy ran door handle to door handle for at least the last, up until the last heat. Yeah, like heats 5, 6, 7.
Right.
You guys were virtually tied at the end of every heat. Then you started the last heat, and you came off on green by yourself?
Yes, I came off in the dead man.
Okay. And then I
came off by myself in the dead man. I was like, well, I'm still close.
Right.
So then it was like, well, I got second,
Right.
Push it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think I came off again by myself in the dead man.
Right.
And I was like, all right, well, obviously not going to win it now because I think by then he already had like 2 laps on me.
Right.
And I think there was an accident or a caution in the donuts I got tangled up in.
And that allowed Terry to get around you.
And then that was it. That was the end of it. But yeah, I mean, there's 3 or 4 heats where neither one of us was kind of. See, he was on the lower end and I was on the higher end, so I was kind of impressed with myself, thinking, I'm up high on lanes generally that can't keep up with bottom lanes.
Right. Well, so like his motor seemed to slow down a little bit after a minute, and then
yeah. See, I told him that after the race, that hey, I think the only thing that kept us close was like you just said. Towards the end of the race, your motor started to fade, where mine just stayed consistent.
Right, and it was neat because like when you were up on the high lanes and he was down low, if the power would have went off on the donut side of the track, you were ahead of him, I think.
Right, yeah, because I would get him on the donut.
And if the power went off in the dead man finger, he was ahead of you by a foot or so. Right. It's like, okay, so when this goes down the last tee, it's going to be where the track shuts off. Who's probably going to win?
Right.
But then you got into trouble, so then it wasn't a deal. But,
yeah.
I kept telling Terry, because after Terry won the B main, I'm like, dude, that's a good lap total. 251's good here. I mean, like,
right.
Not knowing what we were going to do in the A main. I mean, I didn't know if the A main was going to be clean, if it was going to be good, and
right.
then so then I kept telling Terry, like, after I'm like, dude, after every heat, go over there and look at the averages, see where you're at, because you should be up there. And
right.
After me and Eric went out and a couple other people had some setbacks, I mean, Terry was solid 3rd overall, and then the last heat he got ahead of you by sections, wasn't it?
A lap.
Was it a whole
I
lap?
think he got me by a lap. Yep.
Okay. So can't win them all, but we can have a good time trying, and we all had a good time.
It was fun. It's like I told Jeremy, that was one of the best side-by-side races there could have been, because it seems like a lot of people were watching it, getting into it, you know what I mean?
Right.
So.
And then Ralph Middall, he had a hell of a run going, and then he had a problem in the last heat, and that dropped him down. And then I guess Ralph took the same car, because I don't know if you've seen Sunday's results, but he ran like 249 laps on Sunday at the weekly race. Yeah. I was like, man, Ralph was rolling. So, and Terry was 3rd, and then who was 4th? Bobby? No.
Hang on.
Oh,
I think so.
Okay.
I got the results right here.
Well, no, I think DJ wound up getting 4th overall from the B main.
GT1. GTP 4th was DJ Joseph.
Yeah, DJ Joseph. Which I'd never seen. I'd never seen DJ before, and man, he's a good little finger. I mean, like, he's gonna be.
After the race, he came up to me and shook my hand. He was like, "Man, I'm proud of myself to finish 2 laps behind you,
yeah,
4th,
right?
Yeah, and stuff." And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Which, I don't think I watched any of his race.
I think Greg Miller's been helping him, like kind of his protege, and I mean, DJ's a good driver, I mean, like, his stuff was I think his car was a competitive, maybe not top notch yet, but I mean, he drove the wheels off it, and he made laps and stayed in.
Right.
So, because was Jeff Hennis then 5th overall?
Yes.
Okay, and then Bobby was 6th overall.
Right.
Okay.
Let's see. Run down. GTT. Jeremy won with 254.
Terry had 251.
Terry was 2nd with 251. I was 3rd with 250.
Okay.
DJ had 248. Jeff had 248. DJ beat him by, it looks like, 1 section.
Yeah, those guys were having a good race themselves.
And Bobby was 6th with 243. Al Rudy was 7th, 241. And then 8th to top it off was Tom Espinoza.
Tom Espinoza. Yeah, I forgot Tom had a good run, too.
With 238, and that was the top 8.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it was a good day. A lot of fun. We got done about, 10:15? We started racing.
I think we were packed up and
started racing 11:30 and kind of went nonstop. And we had 2, 5, 9, 13 races.
Right.
So 13 races and roughly 11 and a quarter hours. Or 11 and 3/4 hours. No. Yeah. 11 and a quarter hours.
I'll let you handle the numbers.
Yeah, well, I'm not 100% sure on that. I'd have to look at it on paper a little bit there. Just try and look at a clock and back up hours and half hours, and never mind. But no, it was a good deal. I mean, good time was had by all. Mark fed us all day.
Their biggest entry was GT1 with 42 entries.
41 in GT1. It was the biggest class.
Right.
And then 31 Group 10s, and then 31 or 32 GTPs. Because I think it was going to be 32 Group 10s. I think someone pulled out. And then so I made it 31, and I think we had 31 GTPs because it was 8, 8, 8, and 7. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
It was a good time. Everything went smooth.
Yep. The track was.
Fun meter only got pegged once.
Yep, GT1 for you.
Yep. Other than that, everything was good.
Yep. The biggest disappointment of the weekend was no pasta salad.
Well, for y'all,
Terry was ready to leave as soon as he found there wasn't any.
Well, I got there, Thursday, and was talking to Mark, and Mark was like giving us the menu,
Right. Yep.
And I was like, "What about the pasta?" And he's like, "Well, kind of changed it up because I did that last week." And I was like, "Huh?"
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah. And I was like, "That's the whole reason why I come up here." And he's like, "Well, I got like a small little Tupperware bowl back here," and I was like, "Can I have it?" And he's like,
And see,
what?
and that was,
yeah.
And that was even better yet because it's set for a whole week, so you know it had to be better.
Oh yeah, because he was asking, he's like, "Was it good?" And I was like, "Oh, it was good and marinated." So, yeah.
But the substitute macaroni pasta salad, I don't know what we call that, but had macaroni in it. It was very good. It was good too. So,
I mean, I haven't went there yet and had anything bad that Mark put out for us to eat.
There you go.
Yep. I mean, I've seen Willie with like a piece of bread, and I've seen someone else with a piece of bread.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, where the hell is everyone getting this bread from?
I had that piece. You were like, "Where's that?" I said, "It's right over there in that tray."
Right. And I walk around. Oh, here it is.
Yep. That was kind
of
of
like. I don't think I had any. I've had his pastas before, but I didn't have it this time. I had that. He had some kind of like chicken parmesan.
Yep.
Or something. That was really good.
I went for the. I guess it's rigatoni with the red sauce on it, and.
Right. And then we had our Friday drivers meeting at, where did we go, Texas Roadhouse?
We went to Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, and that was a blast.
That was a blast.
Yeah.
I think, Morgan was a blast.
Yeah. Morgan and Terry were kind of the life of the party that night.
Morgan and our waitress, yeah. Terry is now known as Grumpy. Or first she said, she goes, "Well, you're awful sensitive, aren't you?" Because he can be pretty dry in his sarcasm, and I forget what was said. And then pretty soon she called him Grumpy.
Yeah, because I think
so when she called him Grumpy, I about fell on the floor.
Yeah, well, another waitress walked over and was trying to see if we were all laughing, having a good time, and something was brought up about the 7 dwarfs or whatever, and she was like, "Yeah, Matt was Grumpy." And I remember she looked over at Perry and called him a Pappy or something like that.
So, yeah. It was a shame. Morgan was supposed to come join us at the race on Saturday, but she was a no-show.
Right.
You guys didn't go to You guys didn't go to Jersey to find her on Saturday night, did you?
No.
Okay.
No. We were going to go to, I think it was called like the Wicked Avocado downtown Canton. I was like, I really don't feel like going downtown.
Right.
But Eric, I think, was actually going to stay over and go to dinner with us, kind of hang out, because he kind of runs the series, so he was kind of busy, didn't really have time to kind of hang out. And then when I told him, I was like, dude, it's 11 o'clock. There ain't really anything open. You know, and he's like, all right, well, I'm going to go home then.
Because last I heard you guys were going to have Mexican.
Right.
Okay.
And then I told Bobby on the way back to the hotel, I was like, we found the Mexican place open, but then, like, he had already passed it. And I was just like, whatever, let's just, you know, I just want something to eat. I want to go to bed, you know?
Right.
And then we found another place, but as we pulled up in there, we looked and it was 11 o'clock, they closed, and it was like 10:58. And I'm like, no, I don't really feel like getting my food spit in, you know?
Right.
And I was like, well, there's another place down the road there that looked like they were open. Let's check it out. There's a place right down from our hotel. I think it was called Roosters.
Yeah, I think we've been to Roosters before.
And walked up, or we pulled up, and I looked at the door, and I was like, no, I think they closed at 11. And Bobby's like, I think that's a 1. And I was like, well, let's get out and look. We got out and looked. Sure enough, they closed at 1. So we walk in, and hardly anyone there. So we kind of bellied up to the bar, and we asked the bartender, you know, hey, is the kitchen fully open, or is it just a selected menu? And she's like, no, full menu. Okay.
Full menu. Bring it on.
So the key got some boneless wings, and I had a very good grilled chicken sandwich and a beer, and we hung out there for about an hour and a half, and then it was time to go back to the room.
Okay. Well, we need to probably wrap this up and come back next week and do it all over again.
There you go.
So what's the secret word? I know somebody said something at dinner or something like, Nick, the secret word's got to be, and I don't remember what it was now.
Yeah.
Because it might have been Brian Ambrose. Yeah, that was another thing too. It was good to see Brian Ambrose come up and race with us.
He got the long distance award.
Yep.
I had it, but then he snuck in there and got it.
Yep. He came up from Florida and raced with us.
Yep.
I guess he probably had some mixed results from that, but I mean it's a fast group of guys to race with. I mean, Mark's locals are fast to race with, let alone get a few other fast guys there. And, you know, Brian made a comment about, you know, he normally doesn't run the FK motors and what he should do to them and stuff. And I said, well, change brushes and springs and run them in. And, I mean, I think he was competitive in GT1. Yeah, I know he didn't race Group 10 because he didn't think he was fast enough. Then he's standing there watching us qualify, and he goes, well, I should have raced because I was going that fast in practice. So.
Well, it's like I tell people, the fastest car don't always win, and the slowest car don't always lose.
That's right.
So that's why it's racing.
Well, and like we talked pre-show, and, you know, I think it was my GT1 car. It was either GT1 or Group 10 car. I mean, I was out there practicing Friday, and, you know, his car was just a little loose, not horrible loose, but it was just like, I need to put a piece of tape on the back of the chassis. So I went and got my tape, and I put it on, and car was a solid 10th faster, just adding a piece of tape to it. And I took it off, and I went back to what I was running, 10th slower. But the piece of, because you could tell the difference. The car was a little loose without it.
Right.
It was just right on the money with it. But it was a 10th because it just got that forward bite. And that's another thing. That was something I was going to say earlier too. When people look at your cars, sometimes people think that you're cheating or you're doing something that they're not doing. But then there's obvious things that they don't do. Like, if I was at the track and you're next to me and you're flying and I'm standing there and I watch you and you're turning on the bottom of your car and you got 2 pieces of tape and my car doesn't, I'm going to try those 2 pieces of tape. I'm going to go make my car like yours. You know what I'm saying? Now, sometimes it don't work. What works for you may not work for me and vice versa, but I'm going to try it. I mean, that's like obvious.
Right.
You know, people look like in this deep dark hole for something. There's nothing there. It's all right up on the surface that you're looking past. You know, and I know there's some people. It's like, well, tape don't make a difference. I tried it one time and it don't work for me. Well, different day, different track. You You can't leave
Right.
any stone unturned.
Right.
You just gotta. I mean, what's a piece of tape? 1.5 long, stuck to the bottom of your car. I mean, it's pennies, but I mean, in my case, if the tape was worth 2 cents, where can you buy a tenth for 2 cents?
Right.
You can't.
No.
So, all right, secret word of the show.
Secret word of the show for today.
What's he gonna say?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with grumpy.
Grumpy?
Grumpy.
Okay.
We'll go with grumpy.
Yeah.
Grumpy Watson.
I think that was the word. Now that I think about it.
I think that's what we said too.
Yeah, we said that should be the next word.
That should be the next word.
Yeah,
Grumpy.
with Grumpy Watson.
There you go.
Yeah, because as soon as you said it, I was like, wait a minute.
Now he's on vacation. He's been in Florida all week.
And he'll come back with a tan.
No.
No.
No. All right. So until next week. Next week will be episode number 133. And if you're going racing this weekend, good luck. Have fun. Win. And if you're traveling, be safe. And we'll see you next week.
Have a good night.
We're out of here.